homes, funeral directors across this city, across this state. This is not just happening in Chicago. This is happening in Atlanta, Philadelphia, California. It's happening everywhere. What are we as a society going to do to help stop this?
Hello and welcome to the Conservative Poet with me, Amania. Happy that you stopped by today. And if you're new here, if you're here for the first time, I say welcome and stay a while. So in today's video, I want to have a serious conversation. I'm going to put my serious hat back on for this video and have this real conversation about the things that's going on in our community. And when I say our community, I say in the Black people community, because what I'm seeing is it's insanity. We're seeing so many crimes, so much crime and violence, that especially with the youth and what's going on all over this country. And what really triggered me to make this video is recently a man, a old ex-police officer. One was shot in a car while on duty, I guess. He was just sitting there in his car and somebody came up and shot the man. And then another one was where these youth was joyriding all day, stole a car, and literally drove over, again, another ex-police officer. And I'm like, oh my God. These youth have no morals. There is no God in them. And their conscience, I don't know if it's been thrown out the window or what, but they heinous crime for no reason. Heinous crimes for no reason. But really, this video, I'd like to talk also about a video that came out several weeks ago, and I put it in my list of videos that I wanted to talk about, but I've recently taken on a new position. I am working a campaign here locally, and so therefore, if you know anything about campaigns, you got to live it. Live, eat, breathe it. So I'm constantly now, my focus is on this campaign and getting our candidate elected. And so so I'm just really focused on that, but I can't drop the ball here on the Conservative Poet, even though I was only one person. So I want to talk about this today. So we're going to look at a video and I'm going to react with it. I'm going to watch it with you guys, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and hopefully we'll get some good conversation out of this. So if you're interested in seeing that, then let's go. So just to give you a little bit of context on the video that I'm going to be looking at, this is a video that was done a few weeks back, and it was a shooting at a funeral. And the owner of that funeral parlor has an emotional reaction to the killings, and he is asking for the Chicagoans and people and all the killers across the country to put down the guns and stop killing people, because frankly, he is overwhelmed with the amount of bodies that he has to bury because of all of this. So that's the video we're going to get into right now.
Setting for us, for my father, other funeral homes in the city. For some reason, I feel this just started happening. I mean, this is the new trend or something. Years ago, we would unfortunately have a victim of a homicide, and they were the most peaceful funerals. You know, it was the other families that were the uncles and the aunts, like the Hatfields and McCoys. They were the ones that would have the fights and things like that. But the person who was the victim of a gunshot, the funerals were quiet, just no problems. But for some reason this year, last year, maybe COVID is a part of it. This is what's happening at these funeral services, and we can only do so much. When we know that there's going to be a funeral at our funeral home for a victim of a homicide, we call the police. And most of the time they graciously send a car to sit out front of the funeral home, and we thank the police for that, and that's what happened today. So from what I understand, the shooting took place right in front of the police. So what else can we do? You know what I mean? The police are out front. We've called and we've let everybody know. We've let the family know that we're going to have the police outside. Are you okay with that? They say yes. The police are outside and this happens. What else can we do?
You seem very upset.
I'm very upset. I mean, where do you get? See that name? That's my name on that building. And when things like that happen in front of my place, that affects my name, my brother's name, my son who's 19, who hopefully will take over this place one day. It affects him. Chicago, put the guns down. You all are ending generational, you're ending generations of history, so to speak. That is an institution. This is an institution. We have done what we're supposed to do. Everybody says you're supposed to take care of your neighborhood. Heck, we bought the whole block. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Everybody else, you need to do your part. We're doing our best.
And that these services and what your father and what your family has been doing for decades now, trying to allow the deceased to have dignity, allow those who are grieving to grieve, that you are trying to do that in this environment.
Yes.
How does that sit with you?
It's very hard, and not only are we doing it, we accept the crime victims' compensation, where families who lose a loved one to a victim of crime, when they come to us, we do not charge the family. We wait a year, 2 years, sometimes even more to get paid. So, it's only so much that we can do. And yes, it does affect us. It affects this whole community. This 79th and Cottage Grove, I mean, this is my life here. I grew up going to that store right there, getting some potato chips and juice. My breakfast would come from that store, right? Because I would get to work and I would have pancakes with the butter in the mix already. This is my life here. These folks who are doing this are destroying lives, not just with a gunshot, but emotionally and mentally and physically. And I'm tired of it. I am sick. My brother, my father, funeral homes, funeral directors across this city, across this state. This is not just happening in Chicago. This is happening in Atlanta, Philadelphia, California. It's happening everywhere. What are we as a society going to do to help stop this? You say you blame the police? I don't blame the police. The police can only do so much. It's society. Society has to come together along with the police and end this problem. Is it jobs? Is it housing? Is it mental health? It's something. I know it can be done. I know it can be done. I pray every morning. There's next to my bed, there's my carpet is worn because that's where my knees go every morning when I'm praying for my family, my business, our city. Stop the shooting. Stop the killing. It can be done if we all work together and do it collectively.
Hey guys, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me that I know that you appreciate the work that I do and you find value in it. And for me to continue to do that work, I do need your help. So I'm asking you to check out my website, The Orlando Patriot, where you can purchase items that's going to support me and help me to do the things that I'm doing here on this channel. So I thank you very much for that. There's new items in the shop, mugs, phone cases, t-shirts, and so on. So check out the merchandise. And again, thank you for your support. Okay. Where do we start with this? This is a funeral director, and he is pleading to the people who are out here shooting people. You would think, as a funeral director who makes his income, his money comes from burying bodies, right? He is telling the people killing people, please stop the shooting. Please stop killing people. Because we can't handle it no more. Stop killing people. Stop killing each other. And again, we're in Chicago right now, and he's right. This is across the country, everywhere you go. We could probably look at a whole bunch of different funeral homes, and they may not feel like this guy does and saying, I need y'all to stop sending me the business, And by the way, what he said in the video, which shocked me, my jaw dropped if y'all saw that. He says that they don't charge these people, the victims, when they bury them. Okay. When it's a homicide and somebody done got shot, which is like several every weekend, and I'm sure he's in the heart of Chicago, and he says he doesn't charge these people. He doesn't charge the family. This man is literally burying bodies of gang members and or citizens, whoever it is, and he's not charging them. He's losing money from doing these funerals. Who pays for the box? Does he pay for that too? What about the plot? How does that work? Because again, a lot of these are youth killing each other. And of course, they come from single family houses. There's no money for the mother to help with this. And so who pays for all of this? The Good Samaritan here, the good funeral home man there. He's the one who's got to come out of pocket to make sure that your dead person gets a proper burial, gets a box. And then on top of that, people are shooting at this very funeral that he was at right now. I mean, it's insanity. It used to be when somebody died and there was a funeral, that was a time of reflection. That was a time to put down the guns. That was a time to come together. That was a time of respect. Because now nobody has any morals. Nobody has any scruples. They don't have God. And so when somebody loses their life, it is no longer normal for you to put down your weapons for that event. They come shooting right outside of the funeral home. I went to a funeral several months ago. I actually wasn't at the funeral. I went to help out. The service was being held at my church. And so I was one of the hands because the family needed help. And so I volunteered to help our church with the food and everything. And so I ended up going into the church service just to sit, because the food was prepped and everything. And we were just waiting now for the service to be over. So I went and sat in the service. And so again, I've attended many funerals, and I am one person who does attend funerals, by the way. And so because I think it's a proper way to say goodbye and all of these things if you didn't get a chance to. So I attend funerals. And so I went into service and I sat there because I didn't know this person. The person went to the church, but I didn't know them. And so I'm sitting there and, it's emotional. And so after the church service, go back into where we had the food set up. And so the family went to the graveyard to finish that business, so to speak. And so the person's family members, they had guns. And later on, I realized, I said, oh my God, these people had guns in the church, in the service. Who brings guns into a funeral? Like for me, that was like, guns at a funeral? Why do you need guns in a funeral? Like, why do you need it in the church? I was like, these people had guns in the church. I might have been sitting next to one. Who knows? Any event, while we're at the other part of the church getting the food together while they're at the gravesite, we get a phone call saying that the people have pulled out their guns at the gravesite. They're cocking guns at each other. I said, what kind of crazy? They're like this. Maybe I should make myself bigger. Oh dear. Okay. So they're cocking guns, right? At each other over the grave. And this is this woman's daughter who pulled out guns, and during the service there was a message that was sent to the same daughter from the mother through a friend and said, you need to change your life. You need to change your ways. You need to get yourself together. You need to get right. You just heard a message straight from your mother, who is, by the way, you're burying right now. And you cock out guns in her funeral? Yo, I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So back to this guy and these people who are out there shot and kill people right there at the funeral in front of the police. These people have no scruples and no morals, and they don't care. So my guess is, did the police apprehend them? Did those people who shot people outside of the funeral home, did the police get them? Are they in custody? I'd like to know, because there's no follow-up. You don't know anything from these news people. It's just another shooting. Yes, this man had an emotional reaction, but we're going to move on. What happened to those people that were out there shooting during this funeral service, this drive-by? The police were there. Again, they're not afraid of the police. Because if the police apprehend, the police do their job. Oh, the police is racist because they're taking in black folks. The police is out here hunting black folks at funerals who's killing each other. I mean, it's bizarre. The logic here. It's bizarre. So, the lack of morals, the lack of God in these people's lives and in their spirit is so evident to us that if we don't make a change, like he said he's calling on the society to make a change. And he's also calling on the killers to stop killing. But he's put this on the society. And I don't know what we can do to stop, as a society, to stop these killers. These killers is the ones who needs to put the guns down. These killers are the ones who needs to stop shooting people. These killers are the ones who need help. And he says, I don't know if it's mental health, if it's this or if it's that. Yeah, what I say is, we do the Rudy Giuliani method. We pull out the Rudy Giuliani blueprint, and you have these progressive mayors start locking people up. You start locking their asses up. Yeah, we're going to start to see some change in the society. You're going to stop seeing people shooting people at funerals. Okay? You're going to stop seeing that once we start implementing rules that we have on the books, that when we start implementing the laws that's on the book, and we start throwing them in prison and locking them away for the animals that they are. Yeah, I said it. Animals. Because that's what they are. That's how they treat themselves. That's how they react into societies. Yeah, they're animals. Lock them up and throw the goddamn key away. That's what I say. That's when we're going to start to see change. That's when they're going to have some fear. They're going to have the fear of the law. What they really need is the fear of the Lord. But they're going to start to have the fear of the law because they know, I might get locked up for this. You know, Black Lives Matter is not going to come and protest for me. You know, no. Lock them up. You do the crime. You do the time. What was that show? I love that show. Don't do the crime, then you won't do the time. What was that show? Oh my God, it was a wonderful cop show. If you don't want to do the time, then don't do the crime. If you do the crime, then you're going to do the time. Your mayor's not going to save you. Your lawyer's not going to save you. You kill somebody, we got you for it. You're going to jail. You're going to prison, period. And that's what we need again in this society. We need to be building more prisons so we can lock up all of these so-called young people who are out here raising hell and killing people. Build more prisons, not just walls. Build more prisons so we can lock them up. And in there, if they have mental issues, once upon a time, people that had mental issues were treated in a mental facility. Y'all remember mental facilities? I do. Used to call them the nut house, the mental ward. Yeah. If they have mental issues, then we put them in mental facilities where they can be treated and helped. Again, they're out of the society where they're not out here killing people because of mental illness. Then they get help in a facility. But they're not out here running loose in the society. No, we can't have that. And if they're just killers and just evil people this way, then you put them in the prisons. You lock them up. And then and if Florida has the death penalty, maybe Chicago should. I don't know if they do. Maybe we should be looking at that. So that way they will think twice about pulling a gun and shooting people. They will think twice about joining the gangs and killing people. Of course, my phone would ring right now. Let me shut it down. Okay. Where were we? Yeah. So maybe they will think twice about doing the crime. They don't want to do the time. And we need to get more police. Why can't the federal government get involved, right? The police don't have enough. They don't have enough. Let's use one city. Let's use Chicago, for example. Just Chicago. I know we have shootings and killings across the country. But since we're talking about Chicago here, they send in a guard, right? To aid the police. And laser focus on these gangs in Chicago. Laser focus every weekend. They're out there preventing this, locking them up, picking them up, pulling them up. Yeah, and I say, oh, it's because they're black. No, it's because they're blacks who are committing crimes in their community, killing people, causing damage in the community. The funeral parlor is telling you need to stop killing people because we got too many bodies coming in here. When the funeral parlor is telling you that, you know we got a problem. The guard needs to come in and handle this and lock them all up. And it is black people that's doing this. And it's not the white man. It's the black man that's doing this. And I know I may get pushback on this. Well, Amania, you're always picking on the black people. No, it is the blacks. It's the blacks. And they are the ones out here shooting people the way they do in Chicago. And again, they're shooting each other. It's not they're shooting other people. They're shooting each other. Other blacks. And then the funeral man, he's taking a L by providing free services to these people. And again, if they had morals and scruples, they know their mama don't have no money to pay for their burial. They didn't save it. They don't have life insurance to cover the bill. All that falls on the society. All that falls on people outside of them. You know, you're paying for them when they come in, you know, food stamps and all of this, welfare and all of that. And then the society got to pay for them when they go out through shooting each other because they didn't make good choices in their life. They weren't responsible in their life. And so now people have to fork that bill. Are you a good member of the society? I don't think so. Are you a productive member of the society? No. What have you done to produce anything good in the society? You got to feed you for your life, give you money for your pockets for your life, give you housing for your life, send you food stamps for your life. And then they got to pay you to bury you too. Like, what good are you? What good are you in the society? What good are you in the society? You produce nothing except for chaos and mayhem. Oh, y'all, I'm just over this because I'm glad I got this off my chest because it's been boiling in me for a while, and I'm glad I did this video and got it off my chest. This was more of a rant for me than anything else, but tying it all together this way was good. I'm with this man. Put down the guns and let's be good people in the society, but they're not going to, right? So build prisons and lock them up. That's my 2 cents. I'm just saying. So that's going to be it for the video, friends. Thank you for watching. Share, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Build those prisons and lock them up. Or put them in a mental ward. Yeah, put them in the mental ward.